So what we're doing here is we're answering some questions that were either in the question box or just questions that kind of came up during small groups and we thought we should address. And yeah.
Anyways, so reincarnation. Somebody asked a question about it this week, so I thought I would ask somebody who might know more about it than me.
I don't know if that's true, but
yeah, what's reincarnation?
Reincarnation is something, it's part of like Buddhism, and it means, like it's commonly believed that it means like soul, when you die, your soul is reborn as something else, which actually isn't true. So it's rebirth, and it has to do with your karma and like basically if you're going in a positive or a negative direction when you died, but it's not, you don't remember your past life, it's not like your soul being reborn, it's just your karma that's transferring. And so, yeah, but like reincarnation, they basically are reincarnated until they achieve enlightenment, and then they can move on to nirvana, which is like the best thing. Like we would call it heaven, but it's not really heaven. It's not the same thing. It's just, that's the closest equivalency we have to it.
The Bible's pretty clear about what happens to people when they die. In Hebrews 9:27, it says it's appointed for man to die once, and then comes the judgment. Basically, human beings, we only get one life. You've only got one life to live, so live it well. We live, we die, and after we die, we get to face Jesus, and he pretty much decides, hey, did we know him? Did we love him? Are we going to heaven, or did we not love him? Do we not know him? Does he not know us? And do we get to have life, an eternal life without him? So yeah, reincarnation doesn't work. It's not a real thing. So sorry.
Other questions. Wasn't really a question or so, but people, it was mentioned that like, oh, there's plenty of other valid religions, and we just wanted to address that.
There are plenty of religions out there. But the problem is, just like there's plenty of religions, there's plenty of things people can be very, very sincere about, but there's plenty of things people can also be sincerely wrong about. There's this cool thing called the Law of Noncontradiction. Basically, something cannot both be A and not A at the same time. So, for example, I cannot be both me and not me at the same time. Does that make sense?
Just me.
Okay. If Christianity is true and it says things like Jesus is the Son of God and he was raised from the dead, and there's only one God and we can never earn our salvation, any religion who says something that contradicts that, well, they can't both be true. So that would either mean Christianity is false or those other religions are false, but they can't both be true and valid options. For example, Judaism, another religion, but they believe that Jesus was not the Son of God. So Judaism and Christianity can't both be true. And this works for plenty of other religions, or atheism, if you want to call that a world religion or not a world religion. But they say that there is no God, and we say there is a God. So we can't both be right, because something cannot both be A and not A at the same time.
Yeah, it's a very common, especially in America, you don't want to ruffle anyone's feathers. It's a common thing to say, oh yeah, we believe the same thing. Like, we all believe in Jesus, just different, but we don't. Like, when you examine the religions and what they believe, if they don't believe the same thing as Christianity, then one of them has to be right. Can't both be right. Can't all be true.
Yep. Stuff it is, sometimes you just have to tell people, hey, you may be sincere about your beliefs, but I believe you're sincerely wrong.
Truth is truth.
Truth is truth. Perfect example was when I was in 6th grade and figuring out how to spell the word they.
Hey, you spelled they wrong?
What? No, it's totally how you spell they.
T-H-E-Y.
T-H-A-Y? Come on, sound it out.
It's T-H-E-Y.
No, it's totally T-H-A-Y. I learned it.
I know it sounds like that, but it's T-H-E-Y.
A-Y.
Oh gosh, you've been spelling it like that your whole life? T-H-E-Y.
Totally. I've been doing that since grade school. It's A-Y.
E-Y.
A-Y.
E.
A.
E.
A.
E.
That's embarrassing. Good times.
Uzzah reached out and took hold of the ark of God because the oxen stumbled. The Lord's anger burned against Uzzah because of his irreverent act. Therefore, God struck him down, and he died there beside the ark of God. So yeah, we were wondering why. We were like, why? Like, why couldn't they touch the ark? And what if like the oxen stumbled and it was falling, and they just let it fall?
So yeah, basically, what would happen if you dropped it? Nobody knows. I don't know. I can't tell you because it didn't happen. But I can tell you this. Why wasn't he allowed to touch it? Way back in Numbers, chapter 4, verse 15, chapter 4 is giving a whole like long list of things that like the priests and Levites can and can't do, and how all the holy things in the temple are supposed to be moved. And it gets to this point, and it's like talking about specifically the ark. How do you move the ark? Because no one was allowed to touch it. And so it goes through and says this. After Aaron and his sons have finished covering the holy furnishings and all the holy articles, and when the camp is ready to move, only then are the Kohathanites to come and do the carrying. But they must not touch the holy things, or they will die. The Kohathites, I said it wrong.
Sons of Kohath.
Yeah, sons of Kohath, are to carry those things that are in the tent of meeting. So, basically, after everything's covered, then these certain group of people are supposed to come by and like carry it to the next spot. God was very, very clear on who can move it and how it can be moved. And one of the things I think this is saying is God really cares about things being done His way, and there are consequences to not doing things God's way. Apparently, severe health consequences, including death. Yeah, so that's why he couldn't touch it, because God was like, hey, don't do that, and he did it. It's an irreverent act. Don't be irreverent, or you'll die. Yeah, check back every week. We'll be answering questions from this week's youth.
We're on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, follow us. Shalom.
L'chaim. Means to life, actually. It's a Jewish thing.
Jewish. Who knew?